Hey guys, welcome to the Pivot Trade, the channel that teaches you how to benefit from trap traders and how to become profitable traders yourselves. And this is the price action analysis of the 30th of May 2022. And we will start analyzing Nifty first. So let's check first what was the gap up like today in terms of points. If this is the previous day high and this being the open, we gapped up around 160 points. Nearly 160 point gap up, and if you had seen this candle when happening, you could see that the sellers were applying a lot of pressure in that zone, and that was the area where you can see that there was an R3 pivot right above it, and the price had actually opened right within the gap that was left previously. And you can see that the R2 pivot was here, the R1 pivot was here. I'll just mark it for you so you will be able to analyze it better. See, this is the R1 pivot, this is the R2 pivot, and you could see that we had marked all these zones here. What were these zones? Since the price was below it, these were all supply zones, and all these supply zones are now nullified. These supply zones don't mean anything now because the price has gapped up above it and it has not touched those supply zones at all today. And you can see how there is a weekly pivot here as well as there is a daily R3 pivot there, and today R3 and R4, they were all broken, and you can see how the price has bounced from this place. You can see the low of this day. Let's mark the low here. The low that the first candle made was around this area, which was around 16505, and the high that we achieved today was around 16695, which is around 190 points, which is a massive move to achieve, in the first half of the day itself. And that move Nifty achieved in the first half of the day, or even lesser than that actually, even before 12 o'clock. And then after that, it stayed sideways for the entire session. When Bank Nifty was actually going sideways the entire session till then, Nifty was actually going higher and higher. So the price action was kind of opposing each other, and you could see here that the price action in Nifty was very strong right since the start. And now let's see what happened here in the second candle. It was a very strong green candle, and the green candle broke out of the R3 with a very strong body. It has a negligible or no wick on the top, and you can see how strong this candle is. Now when you see a strong candle, the first and the second candle also, the first candle was taking resistance right at the weekly pivot here, and then it was red for a pretty long time while it was forming within that 5-minute session. And then you can see how the price was pushed up, and the sellers actually, or the buyers rather, actually overcame the sellers and closed the price here. So it has a very tiny body and a very tiny wick on the top, but more importantly is this wick. This wick for me is very important. This wick makes it a very important bullish candle, which was followed up by a second strong candle. What does this show us? This shows that the low of this candle is going to act as a very strong demand zone whenever price comes back and it retraces back to that zone. So where would have been a good entry point today? See, since we had a CPR which was not very wide, you can see the CPR as this area, and it wasn't a very wide CPR. Here it would have been a good idea to check if the price had broken out of the first candle's support. So the first candle support is here. Whom do we know are sitting here? There are buyers. Now if you were to side your trade, you would side your trade by the buyers if you saw that there was a typical green candle here when it retraced back to the first candle low. Why? Because then you would know that this area is being defended by the buyers very strongly. So the buyers have come back and they have defended the area strongly. So that's why this particular green candle, so going long here by keeping your SL here would have been a good idea, and then you could have taken your target back at wherever that particular day's high was. But since the price action did not show us that, we could not take that trade today, or we could not engage in that trade today. So one more possible trade that you can take on such days is if the price reverses back and it makes a particular strong red candle here like this, and it shows a strong breakout. then that is a breakout sign. So keeping SL on the top here and keeping your entry point here would be a good trade to take, and here the profit booking would happen at the CPR. Now this would have been a very high probability or a very high quality trade. Why? Because see, here in this candle lot of traders went long, and especially after watching this candle many more traders went long. So had price started retracing back, there would have been a lot of panic in this entire area, and in that panic a lot of traders would have had to exit their existing long positions, thinking that a 160 point gap up and then a powerful first, an opening candle and then a powerful candle again to follow it up, many long positions would be open there, and all those long positions would have had to be exited by all those long traders the moment this particular candle would have been formed, because their SLs would have been hit in that area, right? So the SLs would be in this area, all these SLs would be triggered and leading to a big fall, which would have taken you right up to the day's CPR only will be the important level after that, because generally no other daily pivot or weekly pivot can hold the price when such a huge explosion happens. So all in all, the day's low is a very important area when it comes to trading on such days when the price has opened gap up and suddenly gone up. Now, what is the human psychology here? Let us talk about the human psychology. When you see a candle like this opening 160 points gap up, what would you do? Would you go and short this candle? There is no way you will go short this candle, right? You will go long on this candle, isn't it? And then you would keep your SL below this candle. So here, what is the emotion when you see such kind of strong green candles? The emotion at this point is greed, and the greed will ensure that you jump into such candles right at the day open, and you would be dreaming of big profits as the price went higher and higher. Suddenly the price tends to take resistance and come back. Now what are you? You are initially hopeful. So all those traders who are initially hopeful are traders who will want to hold on to their positions. So they are holding their positions right now. And obviously when they are holding their positions, if their SLs are here and the price starts to come here, they are holding their positions and not letting their SLs to get hit. So what do? They buy more here. They add to their position here. Price comes to this level, instead of taking their SL is pushed down. Now their SL is here. The moment price reaches this area, they will go and buy again. The moment price reaches this area, they will push their SL this area, they'll buy again. And this is something called averaging. So what do they think? That if there is a particular position that they have taken in the market, then they have to, or the market has to oblige them, and the market must bounce. And that's why they keep averaging whenever price goes down, thinking that they are getting a fill at a lower and lower price and they're happy. Now here they are hopeful. Now when they are so much in loss right at this point or even this point, now they know that their system is not working, obviously, but they are deep in losses now. They are in deep losses. And when they are in deep losses here, what are they feeling? The emotion they are feeling now is fear. So they are now fearful. And this fear itself makes them exit their position somewhere here, here, or even here at the lowest point. But then they are in big losses by that time. And so because of this averaging, what happens is, this kind of buying here at this level, averaging, and the price coming down, it is actually adding on to more and more sell positions. Why? Because when they buy, their SLs are going down and down and down, further down. And when institutions can trigger all these stop losses, your buying or my buying is not going to affect it. It doesn't matter whether we trade in 10 lots, 20 lots, it does not matter. Institution will ensure that this price, once it starts to come down below this level, and once they have easily cleared this level or successfully cleared that level, all these stop losses in these areas will be triggered. And so your averaging is not going to help. Your averaging is not going to pump the price up. It does not matter. It is inconsequential. Retail traders trading amounts or quantities are inconsequential, and that is when the initial push is given by greed, then they are hopeful that the market will reverse. In that hope, they keep averaging here, as I've said, and because of that averaging, their SLs are pushed further lower and lower and lower, and so through this entire area their SLs are being, multiple SLs are being triggered because SLs are kept pushing further lower and lower. And what are SLs? SLs are sell orders. So that's why unknowingly they are actually creating more and more sell orders, and that's why the price is taking a lot of pressure in that area. So I hope this is clear, this point is clear to you. So particularly if you are a reversal or a breakout trader, none of these patterns really happened today, and so there was no real entry point in today's price action. Actually, it was a very simple kind of price action. You just had to wait, you just had to mark the important area where your trading opportunity would have been, and then you could have easily traded. And if you have traded and ended up in profits, it's good luck to you, and if you have not, then that was probably a trade which was taken in haste or in a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. So when you cannot enter this kind of rally and you enter somewhere here or you enter somewhere here and then the price starts to go sideways, doesn't really hit your SL but it keeps going sideways, then you have suffered from FOMO. So that is the emotion that you have suffered from. So that is why market works on human emotions and human emotions only. Okay, fair enough. Now let's go ahead and see what kind of levels we have today. And this is the gap which we will delete now. This gap is now inconsequential, it's been filled, and there is a fresh gap that price has left here. So we'll delete all these levels now. They don't really matter since price is already traded above that level. So the fresh level that is now important, as I said, is this level right here. See, this is the one level that is important here. This level is important because, simply because that is the day's low, today's low. So PDL is going to be important because price has shot 200 points today. Okay, and let's go back a little bit and let's find any other very important level which we might need to mark. Now this is one area which you should ideally keep it ready, just since the price is very close to that area and it's a supply zone. So whenever price comes to that area, if it's an important or recent supply zone, it will act as a strong support once price comes to it from the top. Now that is not going to act as a strong supply zone. Okay, just remember that if price tends to come back to it from the bottom, it's not going to act as a supply zone now. Okay, so now let's see, we have an average to narrow kind of CPR for tomorrow. It's kind of 40 points, so it's nearly as much as it was today. And let's see if we find any other important levels on the 15-minute time frame. See, the price could not break the high today. Okay, so the high is also going to be important. So let's mark the high also because it's going to act as a strong resistance now. So we will mark off the high, and the high is going to be at the level of around 16,695. So just ensure that you mark off the high also. And the day high is an important area. Why? Because in spite of a 200 point push, that level could not be broken, the level of around 16,695. And we do have a virgin CPR coming from today's price action, so we'll just mark that off. Though it is a narrow kind of a virgin CPR, but it is still there, so it's important to keep it ready in case price comes to it tomorrow itself. And virgin CPR from 27th May 2022 is right below it. Then there is a virgin CPR coming from the 20th of May 2022, so we are extending that. Then there is a demand zone right here. Demand zones definitely untouched will remain active. Okay, so don't forget that if price tends to come back to that area, that demand zone is going to be active since price has not gone down to that area yet. Okay, and this area of 15,900 roughly is going to be very important. So the 15,900 area is going to act as a strong support simply because it has really pushed that price up after this cup and handle pattern here that we saw that day. So we have seen that the market is now kind of in an uptrend again. We'll have to see whether the uptrend is sustainable or not. Let's just go to the daily time frame. Let's do a higher time frame analysis. Yes, so you can see here that we are at an important area now. Okay, we are at an important resistance where exactly price has taken resistance now, which is the area of around 16,695, as we said, the area that we have just marked, and that is the support area of the previous swing. So that is going to be an important area. Since this gap is filled now, we'll have to see what happens tomorrow, whether the low or the high of this particular candle is broken. That is an important thing to see, because the 16,505 level is going to act as an important support, and here above is an important resistance. So price needs to break out of this resistance to see, for us to see any more upside movement. Now I've just extended a gap there. Okay, now let's go intraday. Let's see if we need any more levels to be marked here intraday basis. We don't have any more levels to be marked here. We do see that there is one important level which we can mark here at the 16,625 level, but since it coincides with the CPR for tomorrow, it's fine if we don't mark it. So that's that for the analysis of Nifty for today. Let's jump over to Bank Nifty now. Okay, so what do we see in Bank Nifty as of today? See, Bank Nifty also opened a gap up, and you can see here that Bank Nifty opened with a red candle. What was the gap up like? Let's see here. From the high previously to today, it was around 283 points. So it was not very powerful price action as we saw in Nifty. You could see that Bank Nifty traded in an entirely sideways kind of a territory in this particular zone here, and price nearly wasn't going anywhere. Then at this time, this candle broke down from it with a strong red candle. Ideally, that price action should have shown us a fall towards the previous day high at least, but since we have seen that Nifty was performing well, we did not see that fall today. Okay, so that is the reason why I said that Nifty was holding and Bank Nifty was weak, and we never really saw that rise in Bank Nifty like Nifty did, right? And Nifty opened and broke right through R3 and R4 also, and Bank Nifty was not going anywhere above the R2 level, which was right here. So you can see the R2 level was so close. Price opened above it. At the R2 level, it took support, and then price was actually going nowhere. It was just stuck within this particular zone here, and then it kind of was going up and down, up and down. It was really sideways the entire day. Then it broke down here, and then again it went into a sideways zone here. So no real price action or entry points based on price action today in Bank Nifty. No real important levels that we find coming historically that were broken today, and the only important level we find as of today's price action is that the level of the CPR, and this particular level which we had marked, the 35,935 level, which I had said is an important level which we had marked from previous price action. Price has opened above it, then taken support in the very first and second candle, taken a bounce from there, and then you can see how price actually reversed from that area with a big red candle, and then this level really was never important after that. So let's see how much price actually fell in Bank Nifty today. You can see that this is the high and this is the low. So Bank Nifty traded within a zone of around 335 points after that, and it did take a fall from there. You can see here 335 points. So what we will do is we'll delete this level and we will mark an additional new level here at the PDH, which is a supply zone, because Bank Nifty has been under pressure, and I believe after Nifty broke out of the R4 pivot, Nifty would have rallied had it not been for Bank Nifty. It was Bank Nifty that pulled Nifty down after this, but Nifty being strong, it held on, and Bank Nifty could not pull it down further. So it went sideways, but had there been support from Bank Nifty, Nifty would have rallied tremendously today, because the mean reversion to the 20 EMA also came pretty late today. So we are marking a Virgin CPR, and we do have a gap coming here. We'll extend the Virgin CPR from the 27th of May. It's a wide Virgin CPR, so we're extending it. We never know when the markets will start falling again, so supports are very important in such situations. You should know exactly where your supports lie and your demand zones lie. Let's check Bank Nifty on the daily time frame also. See, Bank Nifty has a very important and interesting kind of price action. Now you can see here that we do have an important area here, a support from where the previous days, that is 27th May sessions, green candle was formed exactly at the support. Now what was that level? That was around 35 to 25. We got a support there. Then it actually gapped up today, and then it has made this red doji. There was a swing here, it went up, came down, then we got a small swing here, it came down, then we got a swing here and it went down again. Bank Nifty is making higher lows here, and clearly we are making strong green candles, and we don't see any major red candles here. You can see these small red candles, which are also, if you can see, on a higher side. See this? So none of those red candles have taken out the previous candles, green candles low. So this candle doesn't take out the previous green candles low. This actually gapped down severely, but after that you can see that this was the green candles low. This candle didn't take it out. Then this red candle does not take out this green candles low, and then this red candle also does not take out this green candles low. So you can see that we are making higher lows here, and so it's an interesting kind of price action in Bank Nifty here at this point. Now what we will do is we will go back to the 15-minute time frame. So yes, the level of this virgin CPR is important. We also have a virgin CPR importantly coming from the 27th of May, as we just talked about it, and we do have a demand zone here where price had shot 800 points from there. Just keep a watch on all those levels. It is important that you keep all these levels in mind, because these levels are important supply and demand zones, and price can reverse from any of these areas. So don't be overconfident that the price is going to rally up and the bulls are back in control. It might not be. We might see a sharp reversal also, because we have resistances on the top immediately, because the level of 36113.55 is also an important resistance now. So that is all for today's price action analysis. I hope you have liked this one and enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. It really boosts my confidence and it motivates me to keep going with this channel for all of you. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified each time I post a new video. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.